Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show. We are here this morning to talk about some great things, man, in basketball. March Madness, you got NBA playoffs on the way. You got MLB starting. It's a great day for sports, man. Mo, how was your weekend, man? I'm here with one of my favorite guys, man. You know, Mr. NBA himself, man. How was your weekend?
It was an entertaining sports weekend with everything going on with March Madness in the men's and women's bracket. And then, of course, there was plenty of NBA action and some moves made in the NFL. So, as far as a sports weekend went, pretty solid.
I'm here with one of my other favorite guys, man, Mr. Will himself, man, Mr. Sports Report at nighttime. What's going on, brother? How was your weekend?
Good, man. I got a lot done at work. Had to work this weekend. Got a lot of good sales. Shout out to Samsung and that S26 Ultra. That thing's been making me a lot of money. So shout out to them. But it's been a good weekend. I cannot complain.
So we're going to get into one of the biggest upsets that happened that bust every bracket, man. You know, March Madness in full swing. We're going into Sweet 16, man, and there is zero perfect brackets at this point due to Florida going down. 9 seconds left. Florida up 2. Overpressed in the game and allowed Iowa to breeze down court with no real pressure for the infamous corner 3.
I was shocked by that. I was shocked they didn't put any pressure.
No, it was applying pressure, but when you overpress and then you let the dude get behind you, no pressure going up court. So he passes the corner for the infamous corner 3. Florida.
The dribble corner 3 at that.
And then Florida goes down court, 3 seconds left. Doesn't even get a shot up. 72-73. Iowa moving on to the Sweet 16. Mo, what's your reaction to this game?
I guess this is the best part of March Madness. This is the bracket busters. Look, I was blown away when North Carolina blew. I didn't see that coming. I'd watched that game and I was like, we got this. They're destroying. They're supposed to be destroying them. I'm already like looking good. And then I was spun out at the end. I was like, what a collapse. What I didn't understand is why in the second half did Hubert Davis only play 6 guys? He subbed out one dude. Like, wow.
Well, you know, UNC had probably they wasn't gonna go nowhere without their star, man. You know, kid with the broken thumb.
You're right. They probably would have gone, to the Final Four, nothing like that. But that game right there, they were up over 20. They were destroying this team. And it just collapsed. Like, look, I'm not saying Hubert Davis is getting fired, but he better be renting.
Will, what's your reaction to the game?
Nah, Mo, you too nice. You too nice. I'm calling it. They fired Hubert Davis. They're fired. That's inexcusable. And I did pick that one, by the way. I didn't pick the Florida one, but I got that one right. I'm still 98% on one of my 25 brackets, doggone it. But no, the Florida one I didn't see coming, but the North Carolina one, I saw that coming. And I think Hubert Davis will be fired for it. That's inexcusable. But the Florida one was a shock to me. And man, it shows you why you have to really watch the tournament and take the value of everything that can happen, because every dog has its day, and you see it more in the tournament than pretty much anywhere else.
That was bad coaching, in my opinion.
It was.
But anyway, speaking of Hubert Davis, my man been there, 5 seasons, been kicked out the tournament 3 times. Roy Williams been there 18 seasons, been kicked out the tournament 3 times. So it's time to call for his job, Mo, is what you're saying?
Look, I think in college basketball, the 2 things you got to do, especially at North Carolina: 1, you got to recruit at a high level, and 2, you don't play to get knocked out in the first round of the NCAAs. You don't play for that.
Pass, man. You missing your star player. You get a pass for that.
You probably get a pass for that if you're missing your star player and they just beat you outright. You don't get a pass for that if you're missing your star player and you're up over 20. You're up 20 points and you collapse. Whatever you did to get up by 20 to begin with, keep doing more of that. But to blow that lead, and they didn't blow the lead to like somebody that
Mm-hmm.
That they blew a lead to a team that was a 13th seed. Like
Yep.
they blew a lead to a team that at one point in that game put their heads down and go, yeah, they're a lot better than us. And then next thing you know, North Carolina forgets how to play and they get destroyed. Like,
Yep.
like I'm not saying he's getting fired. What I am saying is if he does get fired, I completely understand.
What you think,
I'm
Will?
calling-
It's
I'm
time to
calling
call
for it.
You calling for his job?
I think he done. You have to
Oh,
look at
man.
the fact that it's North Carolina, dude. The expectation is not to get thrown out in the first round. The expectation is to win. That's the expectation at North Carolina, Duke, and other high-ranked schools. He's not getting it done. Yeah, you get into the tournament, okay, but you're not getting it done. And this right here is like the bad apple loss. You can't have this happen. And I think he's gonna pay for it.
Moving on, I want to talk about
He is done.
AJ DeBosta from BYU. Mo, is this a clear-cut number one pick? Now, before you answer, AJ has had an interview recently, and they was asking him, is he the number one? Do he want to be the number one pick? He said, yeah. And he said, I don't know. I may not be leaving college, but then again, I may be leaving college, but then I don't know. So what you think, man? Number one pick, and then you think he's leaving?
Look, from a skill set standpoint and what he actually does on the floor, I think he would be the number one pick. I would take him. Look, we always talk about the floor or the ceiling. His ceiling is T-Mac. His ceiling is T-Mac. So I'm just saying, what is his floor? DeMar DeRozan? Like, that's not bad either. It's not bad either.
DeMar DeRozan floor was a little. I mean, he was getting bumped first round by LeBron every year with the Raptors, man.
Right, but that is DeMar DeRozan as the best player on a team. Like, he's a terrific basketball player, but I don't think he should have ever been anybody's franchise player.
What you think, Will? AJ DeBosta, first round pick?
I wouldn't draft him.
You wouldn't draft him?
I would draft him. I just don't like the things being said. And when you're dealing with the first round pick, you got to be sure. You got to be straight on with that first round pick. This ain't no second, this ain't no third, this ain't no fourth, this ain't no fifth. This is a first round pick. First round pick is very important. And you got to hit on that first round pick. You miss that first round pick, that can set you back. So if I have any questions or is there anything questionable about the kid, no, I'm not drafting him.
I mean,
so his teams would be the Wizards and the Pacers because they the lowest ranking teams in the league right now. Do you think he would go to the Pacers? Because I wouldn't go to the Wizards. I know I wouldn't.
I go to the Pacers if I go to the Wizards.
What you think, Mo?
I think the Pacers would love to have him, and he would love to have the Pacers. The opportunity to play under Rick Carlisle and play with Halliburton, a pass first point guard. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene. I see you, and I do have him confused. Y'all, please forgive me. I do have him confused with Peterson. But yeah, I'll draft. Yeah, I would draft AJ, but not Peterson.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get. I thought you was talking. You the way you sounded, I was like, I wonder if he's talking about Peterson because Peterson is the headache, right?
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate you, bro. You see, I'm still drinking my coffee.
Well, the questions with AJ is that they said, but depending on who he gets picked to, he can still opt out, not sign the NBA contract, and go back to college. So do you really want to draft somebody that's questionable like that?
Nah. I want somebody that's going to be all in. Not Jerry Jones all in, but all in.
So
and Peterson, I ain't touching.
Here's the rub, though, when you talk about guys like AJ and Peterson. Yeah, they're quirky and weird and never make anybody pause. But what you're trying to do is pick a player who's an impactful player, not just a player. I don't want to use the word transcendent, but at a minimum,
you don't like transcendent, man. You don't think AJ DeBosi is transcend? Yo, the dude comes in, plays one half of the game, and drops 30 points, and then don't come back in. Like that ain't
but when
transcendent talent.
But when you use that word, that's unfair. That's unfair because he hasn't spent 1 minute on an NBA court.
Hey, let me tell you this. Let me say this to you, Will. You know what's unfair? When LeVar Ball went on national TV and said his son better than Jordan.
I completely.
That's unfair.
I completely agree with you, but I just don't like the word transcendent because we haven't seen this kid play on an NBA court yet. You don't know how his career is going to go.
Yeah, everything now is potential.
Potential.
And so
I would say questioning if you talking about early 2000s, 90s, 80s basketball, yeah, because I mean the NBA is cupcake-ish now. It's easy to score the ball.
But even in Jordan's era, Jordan, Barkley, those guys had to prove themselves. You didn't hear the word transcendent being thrown around back then like you do now.
I mean, it wasn't really
those guys had to prove themselves to get those guys had to prove themselves to get the money. Now you paying money based off potential.
I think it's due to the simple. I mean, Magic and Bird, they was transcendent talents in college. You had Kareem, transcendent. Dude was worldwide, one of the greatest players ever touched.
Kareem was already proven though.
That was college though.
But he
high
was
school.
But he had built up a resume for people to call him that. He won three city championships in high school, goes to UCLA and brings them 3 more national championships, 3 more player of the years, 3 more national player of the tournament awards. And the only reason he didn't win 4 in a row is because UCLA does not allow freshmen to play. They don't allow freshmen to start on the varsity. That's the only reason.
Yep.
So you say accolades and championships make you a transcendent talent in college and high school. Is that what you're saying, Mo?
I'm saying that Kareem's resume built him up. If you look what he did from high school through college. Do you remember that they banned dunking because he went to the college? They banned dunking for the entirety of his time with UCLA because they said he would be too dominant.
Yep. And these kids don't have anywhere near a resume like that to have that tag put on them. That's why I don't like it.
All right. So is there anybody that you would think, let's say last year or this year, that you think are close to a transcendent talent in basketball, Mo?
No, I think there's some terrific talents the last couple of years that so there's transcendent, and then there's the guys that have really good careers. So really good careers, somebody that goes to 3 to 5 All-Star games, but isn't necessarily one of the best players in the league. I think transcendent is reserved for something you've never seen before. Wemby is something we've never seen before. A 7-footer with the skill set of a wing. That's transcendent. That's different. So okay. That's what I use transcendent for. I can't use transcendent on a pretty good player.
So you needed a game-changing type player, is what you're saying, changing the course of the basketball era type of player.
The really truly transcendent players in the history of any sport, but even more so in basketball, are the guys that you could look at and go, he could play in any era.
All right, so let's move on to the NBA. So we talking most valuable player, not the best player in the NBA. Will, does Luka have a strong case to win the season MVP this year?
I think he does. He's been playing really well, and I got to give it to the Lakers. I still think they're the biggest tease in the NBA, but they figured it out so far during the regular season. No one's talking about the defense that they haven't been playing because the offense has been clicking. I like the fact that LeBron has taken a third, kind of like a second seed, third role kind of thing on the team, being a facilitator during this run. But he deserves, and I think he does deserve MVP consideration because he's just dude that can't run, dude that can't jump, but he's still scoring at a very high clip and playing very well. So yeah, I think he deserves consideration. Do I think he wins it? No, but I do think he deserves consideration.
Mo.
I think Will sees it the way I see it. I like the term. Does he deserve consideration? I think he deserves consideration. The Lakers have climbed their way up into
How
the
strong
third
consideration
seed.
are we talking though?
No, the kind of consideration where they go, well, he was considered, but his ass wasn't winning. So,
But yeah,
about-
he ain't gonna get it. He ain't gonna get it.
not that much. Like I'm not the two automatics that I don't put him ahead of. I'm not putting him ahead of SGA. I'm not putting him ahead of Wemby. I think those are two automatics. I don't think he's ahead of either one of them.
He had a Joker though.
And really, you could say he's not necessarily ahead of Joker. I think somebody like Luka and Jaylen Brown. I think it's true. I think they both have a worthy of All-Star or MVP consideration.
He climbed the Lakers up to third seed in the last month.
He ain't gonna win it. He ain't gonna win it.
Yes, they're the third seed in the last month. Yeah. They're also behind Wemby's Spurs. They're behind SGA's Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but SGA still doing what he just picking up from what he was doing last year. Is that really considered to be an MVP?
Well, I'm making a point about Luka. If you just live by numbers, then Luka probably should have won 3 MVPs. If you're a numbers guy, but if SGA, I just won the championship. The season I had to win MVP, nothing's fallen off. I've picked up where I've actually gotten better. SGA shooting the 3 ball at almost 40%. Like he's actually gotten better. He's got a defensive rating higher than most of the guys we consider great defensive players. Like people say Luka's much improved. I think Luka's defensive rating is like 115, but that is much improved for him. SGA is an offensive dynamo, but he's got a defensive rating of 107. That's a completely different world. No, SGA is the best player in basketball right now.
Okay. So SGA, Joker, and Wemby, who you giving MVP to?
I'm giving the SGA.
Over Wemby? After Wemby didn't climb the Spurs up to the 1 seed?
I believe the Thunder is still in the 1 seed.
I mean, it's my fault, the 2nd seed. But they up there. Granted what they did last year, right?
It's a great season for the Spurs, much improved, and we know the impact that Wemby has. I don't think he's done enough to unseat SGA.
And I just want to say this real quick. Me and you called it too. We called it on this show how good the Spurs were going to be.
Yeah.
Very good team. Wemby is just amazing. I love watching the kid play. To have a dude that tall to be able to handle like a guard, that's just sick. That's just sick. And to be able to shoot like that too from range, man. But I just think that SGA and everything that he's done, I think Joker and everything that he's done, those two are hard to beat when it comes to MVP. Just hard to beat.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Mo. Is LeBron changing gears and turning into wherever you need me kind of guy, giving the Lakers more success in the given month versus, or is it JJ Redick's coaching?
I think it's got to be a little bit of both, right? I'm sure that's something that JJ Redick wanted maybe from him earlier, but you're asking somebody like LeBron, who's always been in the forefront, always been the ball dominant guy that kind of like ran the show, to not just take a step back from being the lead guy, but you're asking him to go to third option. To his credit, he did it. And he's actually been terrific as a third option. He's been the guy that said, I'll play a little bit more on defense. I'll get more rebounds.
Yep.
And I'm content with, 16 to 18 points. Like that's a big sacrifice that he's made seamlessly. And maybe to JJ's Redick's credit is now they have more defined roles. And I guess that matters. So Luka is the guy. Austin Reeves, more times than not, is the second option, and LeBron's the third option. But or those two might flip-flop. But whatever they've done over the last month, it's working because defensively, I'm not saying they're a great defensive team, but at least they're competitive on defense, and they still have a top 5 offense. So Look, I think the Lakers are having a terrific season, and which is why I'm with you that Luka deserves MVP consideration. I just think there are two better candidates ahead of him.
Will, what you think? LeBron or JJ?
Yeah, I agree with Mo. It's got to be a little bit of both. To get LeBron to take that back seat, much like Phil Jackson had to tell Mike, hey, look, Mike, you got to pass the ball more. You just can't be one and done. You got to pass the ball more. When he did, that made a big, huge change for the Bulls. And you're seeing this change with the Lakers. You can't have three guys out there doing the same thing. Somebody's got to switch it up somewhere. You had three dominant ball handlers before. Now someone's taking a step back, and now you've seen that it's working. So I got to give credit to both JJ and to LeBron.
So let me ask you this, Will. Do you think the Lakers are a real contender at this point? They're playing.
No.
Still no?
No. I think they switch gears, which is good. I think it's going to it'll make them more competitive. But I just think there's better teams out there with better rosters that can unseat them. Look, I'm your number one Laker hater on this network. It ain't gonna be no bigger hater of the Lakers than me. Clippers too, but I gotta give them credit. They are improved. They may not get put out in the first round. They may get put out in the second round, but no, I don't think they're real contenders.
Well, we all know basketball is a matchup type of sport in the playoffs.
But
if you think Mo, Lakers contenders,
I think
pretenders.
I think because of what you just said, they're contenders. This season, more than any in the West, matchups decide who goes to the conference finals. OKC's the number one seed, and rightfully so. But if somebody doesn't knock off San Antonio, I think that's a terrible matchup for OKC. I think OKC they need help. They need Denver. They need someone to take out the Spurs. And by the way, the Spurs are terrific, but they're not unbeatable. I just think they're a horrible matchup for OKC. Maybe because they have just as many athletes. And then also Wemby just throws off everything because the perception is that Wemby and Chet are like, they have a rivalry, but that's not a rivalry. That's more like a school bully beating up a same kid every day. Like that's what that is. Like there's a huge separation between where Wemby is as a player and Chet is. Like they're not cut from the same cloth. Like Chet's good, but you're not going to build a team around Chet. Like Chet is not. He's not Wemby's rival. Like
he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be.
Because every time they played, he's dominated. He dominated Chet every time they played.
Yeah, he's a good player. Matter of fact,
early on when they both was rookies, they had a few good battles, and then Wemby just all of a sudden went in the off season and went to go meditate with the monks and all that stuff, and came back and my man hit Super Saiyan 2. So somehow,
man,
and maybe it's just as simple as that, though. Like Chet, we talk about ceilings and floors. I feel like Chet is basically the same player he was his rookie year. Like he's a good player, but I think that's his ceiling. I
don't know. I think he's just not applying himself. I think that championship made him complacent in where he is as a basketball player.
I agree with Carmack on that because you haven't seen any real growth from Chet as a player. He's just as is.
But that's my point.
Yeah. He's just as is. And I think in the West, when you got a team like OKC, they're so young and can play, pretty much any style you need. You got the Spurs so young, and you got Wemby there. Those are some hard outs. And man, I think that's why the Lakers won't get there.
Let me ask you this: do you think Chet stopped trying to grow as a player due to the rapid increase of SGA's production?
You have to take your self-growth upon yourself. You have to improve your game at some point on your own. You have to be able to go back and say, hey, okay, I didn't do this season. Let me get better there. For example, I'll take jump shooting for an example. Okay, I'm not the best jump shooter in the world. Okay, I got to work on that during the off season. you can't look at someone else's growth as your excuse to be stunned in your growth.
Well, I'm just saying it due to the fact that, you know, OKC got their dominant superstar, which is SGA, which Chet didn't really have to grow into that. Wemby had to. He's the only one that was really, yes, he got Stephon Castles to support a cast, but somebody had to transcend above them to carry.
No, I understand what you're saying, but look at it another way. Chet's just not that good. He's not as good as. I'll give you an example. You said, well, you know, Wemby's got Castle and all those boys. Here's the thing. I know Wemby, as much as I like Castle, I know Wemby is a special player.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say Chet's better than Castle. Chet's not better than Castle. He's not better than Castle now. That's my point. Chet's a good player, but I think that's his ceiling. Good player. Like, it's not like he's their second best player because J-Dub, when healthy, is a better player than him also. So he's not. It's not like he could, like, they would say, well, SGA, let's build it around Chet. Chet's just not that dude. He isn't that dude. No. And I think had you sent him somewhere else where they tried to make him that dude, his career arc would have been completely different because he's not cut like that.
But and like I say, you have to take it upon yourself as a player to get better. Right now, he doesn't seem like he wants to get to that point. Personally, if it was me, you're not going to put me, you know, you're not going to call me a bum behind J-Dub and SGA. No, I'm going to get better so I can contribute to this team. And right now, he just doesn't seem like he wants to get better.
Breaking news real quick, fellas. Breaking news. Jackson Smith and Jigba just reached a 4-year, $168.6 million extension, making him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. This is an average of $42.15 million per year with $120 million guaranteed. Does he deserve it? Mo, I'm gonna start with you. How you feel about this for the Seahawks?
I think he deserves it. He's one of the 3 best receivers in football, and he can run every route. Terrific route runner. Definitely resilient, durable. His ability to make people miss in space and run after the catch, like he's a complete package as a wideout. And he's the guy that makes your defense have to change your coverages and try to find out where he is in every play. So, look, I know sometimes we say that you can overpay players, but for his value, for what he does at his position, I don't think he's overpaid. I mean, who are his peers? His peers are probably like Justin Jefferson, right? And our guy, old boy in Cincinnati. Those are his peers. Like, that's how good he is. So I have no problem with them giving him this contract because I think he's worthy of it.
Will, reaction to this contract?
I think he's worth it too. He's right up there with Chase. He's right up there with Jetta. Probably third behind those guys with Puka right behind him, in my opinion. So yeah, I think he deserves it. And for him to take over that number 1 receiver the way he has after Metcalf left is a tribute to him. I like what the guy does, and he deserves this contract.
I would say I will put Ja'Marr Chase and Justin Jefferson fighting for the 1 spot in the NFL for receivers. Then you got Puka. Puka been doing this a long time, man.
Puka,
for
man.
good little grips in him.
I love Puka, but we gotta remember
Jigba only had 1,700 season. He did have 1,000 a year before that, and the year before that he only had like 600. So can you really put him ahead of Puka at this point?
But you gotta remember, he's got Devontae Adams on the other side of him.
Without Devontae, Puka's still doing
from the last season. All I'm saying is who you have, Cooper Kupp on the other side of you, and you still did what you did. I'm just saying, I think he deserves it.
I mean, you're talking about Puka came in as a rookie and put up 1,400 yards.
Oh
yeah, he did. But Puka had something that Jackson Smith and Jigma didn't have. Puka had Matt Stafford.
Yep. This dude did it with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. Are we going to You gonna act
And
like
don't
Sam
forget,
Darnold didn't just have a great season the year before? So it ain't like Sam Darnold is turning the curve, man. You know, he's taking that Steve Young type of curve. Was trash, and now he's trying to go into a good quarterback realm.
I'm
He
just
better than
making.
Matt Stafford.
I'm just making
No,
a
I ain't saying
point
better.
with
I ain't
with,
saying
Jack,
better.
with Njigma, who Njigma had for his first 2 years in the league. It wasn't Sam Darnold.
Sure about what? Sure about what? Lord have mercy.
It does matter. You got to have a competent quarterback to at least have a shot to put up numbers. You know why we know this is true? Because look at the season Justin Jefferson just had.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't because he fell
I
off.
mean, come on, that's
because he had
JJ
heart.
McCarthy.
quarterback play fell off.
That's
McCarthy
right.
is
That's
terrible.
my point. But, no arguments. No arguments. That's
Boy.
exactly my point.
So is he gonna have a better season now? He got Kyler Murray back there.
I think so.
I think he would.
Up
As
until
long as you keep Kyler Murray, as long
October.
as you keep Kyler Murray off the card, you be hype.
I think Kyler Murray gonna have to stay off COD due to
Yeah,
the
he gotta
simple
stay
fact
off
that he's on a
COD, man.
1-year deal. He's on a Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. He gotta go play for a contract. And you know, Fitzmagic always played for a contract when it was contract time.
Mm-hmm.
He might be trash, but when it's contract time,
Oh, he gonna play. That contract year, he gonna play. You seen that?
I think
That's a great point. He essentially is auditioning for the rest of the NFL. He's auditioning.
Yeah.
So he gotta be motivated this year.
Yeah,
he
gotta be.
has to. Or
It's the
I
best
guess
thing
you're
that
gonna be working at Home Depot, or you're gonna be
Hey.
streaming COD on Twitch.
Hey, hey, this the best team Kyler's had. The best team Kyler's had. The line play should be better. Receiver play should be better. You still got TJ Hawkinson at the tight end. So yeah, he has nowhere else to go but up.
Act like Kyler didn't have a receiver. He had D-Hop in his prime.
Yeah,
and still went to go play COD in November.
He got to do it this year. He got to.
All right, so should we switch it back, man? And Cade is down, possibly for 6 weeks. And if he's down for 6 weeks, that means he's not coming back to after the first round of the playoffs. Do you think the Pistons have enough to hold off in the first round of playoffs without Cade?
No, I do not. Initially, when Cade went down with this injury or diagnosed with this injury, I thought by the time he comes back, they won't be in first place no more. But there's only 12 games left in the season.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, as long as they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, there's no way the Celtics can overtake them. And the Celtics didn't help themselves because they lost last night. So I think they're still going to be all right in terms of the seeding. But to the bigger picture, what you pointed out is what happens if the playoffs start and Cade Cunningham is not there? Easy answer. They get swept.
Swept? Dang. I think it depends on who they playing, though.
No, they get swept. With respect to the Pistons, without Cade Cunningham, I know somebody pointed out they're like 8-1 or something. This isn't going to be the same thing. You're going to be without Cade Cunningham in the playoffs, where the game becomes a grind and it's about half-court execution.
Let me give you this matchup. So if it ends today and they play without Cade in the first round, they'll be playing either the Heat or the Hornets. You don't think they could be either one of those teams in a 7-game series?
Could they get a win? Yes. Could they win the series? No.
Against the Heat?
I don't think they beat the Heat in the series without Cade Cunningham.
Nope.
Oh, Bam just gonna be cooking, huh? 83 every game.
I don't know about 83. Well, I don't know about 83. You only get to play the Wizards so many times, but
exactly.
But I think Bam will hold his own. I think Tyler Hero and then you got Norman Powell. They've got 3 guys that all 3 they don't drop 30 in a regular, but all 3 can get you 20 a night. Detroit
can't beat the Hornets either.
No, but no, the Hornets actually have more offensive talent than the Heat by far.
Yep. Melo.
No, I get it because
Melo.
I thought I said the strategy with respect to what Coach Bickerstaff does is what you can rely on with Detroit without Cade still is they have that defense, a number 2 defense in the league. They're extra physical. They can impose their will on a series, and maybe just on defense alone, they can muck it up enough to get a win here and there. But at some point in the game, even if you can slow the other team down, you got to be able to score. You got to have a guy on the floor that you say, go get us a bucket. They don't have that without Cade Cunningham. Like I said, I think they can still beat the teams they're supposed to beat down the stretch in the regular season. But in the postseason, why would I favor that team even again? I get it because the Hornets haven't done anything, but you got to score. I don't think they can beat I don't think they can beat anybody in the first round with that. Or let me not say beat. Anybody can win a game. Could they win a series to get to the second round without Cade Cunningham? Nope.
Gentleman's sweep at best. Gentleman's sweep.
What your thoughts, man?
I've been always saying without Cade, they can't score enough. They can't shoot enough. They don't really have anybody that can create their own shot past that. I like Duren, I do, but I don't think he's enough. Sure, that defense is tough. There's some dogs, but at the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the basket. And I don't think they got enough without Cade Cunningham to put the ball in the basket. So, gentlemen, sweeping the 4-1. Okay. I got you. Maybe 4-2 if you get lucky. With a chance of a rebound here and there. But nah, they're not beating the Hornets, and they're certainly not beating the Heat.
And what about even with let's say Cade Cunningham comes back? Are you going to be getting back MVP caliber Cade, or are you going to be getting Cade without his legs under him? And
right.
remember, what he's being taken out of the equation because of his lungs. Well, what happens when you run and exert yourself? What does that impact immediately? It immediately impacts your lungs.
Yep.
So
we're not talking about a soft tissue injury or something like that. We're talking about your lungs.
So even if he comes back, I have to assume he'd be on a minutes count, right? He'd have to be. So they're not even going to have. If they got him back, it wouldn't be the same Cade Cunningham. If I'm the GM, I'm erring on caution. He's not playing the rest of the year.
Nope.
That's me.
We just gonna give up our hopes to take it. You getting full swing Pacers back next year. Who could possibly be getting AJ DeBastia mixing with Halliburton?
Yeah.
This is the Pistons window, man. You got to give it a shot, right?
No.
Not at the risk of your franchise player's health.
Right. Not at the risk of your franchise player's career. Yeah.
Right.
Can't do that. You have to be responsible. You have to save the player from himself at some point.
I don't know, man.
Championship
windows don't come often, man.
I didn't have Detroit winning the championship with Cade. Respectful, and I'm a huge Cade fan. They didn't have enough with him.
Now, if you got a true second scorer, someone that can create his own shot, that's a different story. But
I think they could at least got to the finals due to the fact that Jason Tatum been down all year and he still ain't in full swing with the Celtics. So I don't see the Celtics going that far if they got to play the Knicks
let me ask you
the
this.
Pistons.
I'm gonna ask Mo a question. I'm gonna get his answer real quick. If they get met, and I doubt if this happens, but if they get matched up with the Cavs, will this be the 1 point you go with the Cavs?
You mean the Pistons?
Cavs versus Pistons. I doubt if it happens the way the season is, but if they get matched up if the Pistons get matched up with the Cavs, would you go with the Cavs?
I would go with Cavs.
Yeah.
What about Pistons versus Knicks?
Without Cade, I'm going Knicks.
Yep.
Sweet.
I would
4-1. 4-1. 4-1. I'll give Detroit a game because they've been dominating the Knicks all season with Cade. So they may be able to bring that same intensity to get one game off of them. But
let me ask you this, Mo. Who is your biggest fraud contender in the NBA right now?
Biggest fraud contender?
Look,
as a Laker fan, I think no, I'm being real. I think the Lakers are legitimate playoff contenders. When you start talking championships, I guess a fair assessment would be what would the Lakers' case be that they would be a championship team? I would say when you've got Luka playing at the MVP level, Reeves playing the way he's playing, and then LeBron bought into his new role, I would say a team that has three players like that, you have a puncher's chance. That's the best way I can put it.
The Rockets don't look that good to me.
The
That's my
Rockets,
fraud.
the Rockets are not that good, and the Rockets,
my
by the
fault.
way, are exactly what I said they would be.
We both agreed on that too. We both
Exactly what I
agreed on
said
that
they would
too.
be.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear that. They want to go, well, he's look at him. He's shooting 50, 40, 90. Look, I'm like, okay, all right. I like, here we go again, though. All I know is get the brakes beat off of him when he was with Brooklyn. He got the brakes beat off of him when he was with Phoenix.
Yep.
And now he is currently getting the brakes beat off of him in Houston.
Yep. We called that too, Mo. We called because my thing with the Kevin Durant thing over to Houston, I had to see it first before I picked him. And the minute old boy went out with that injury and they didn't address the point guard, I'm out. And that's my biggest fraud is Houston.
That's been biggest. That is one of the two problems with Houston. The point guard thing is massive, and the fact that they don't have a lot of shooting. You think shooting, you say Durant, but then the rest of the team, they don't have any. They don't have no shooters, no shot creators. This team is a first round exit.
And then Steven Adams being out don't help either. That don't help at all.
So you going with the Rockets, Will?
Yeah, I'm going with the Rockets.
Okay.
And the Lakers be right behind them.
You got an East fraud contender?
Yeah. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I think the Knicks would be my fraud contender. I think the Knicks would be mine. I think I don't trust. Look, good team. I think they're a good team. But I don't trust that situation. I don't trust Cat in big time situations. I just think that would be my fraud because I don't trust Cat, and I don't trust the decision making from Mike Brown. And I don't like the way Mikal Bridges is playing either. So that would be my fraud.
Mo, we got a fraud contender.
I mean, it's hard to use it now. I mean, my fraud contender before the injury was Detroit. Obviously without Cade Cunningham, they're not fraud. They're just not gonna get. They're just not gonna be that good. They're not gonna. Nobody's gonna tell me they're going to the conference finals without Cade Cunningham. I thought that they were gonna be hard pressed to make the conference finals with Cade Cunningham, just because I don't think they have enough offensive options. I've said this before. The formula that Bickerstaff's winning with, it's a good combination. But I've seen this before with Iverson. I've seen it years later with Derrick Rose, and now he's trying to replicate it. That kind of formula has a ceiling, and when everything is on one guy's shoulders, that just breaks down. They're not ever going to win a title until they get a second guy that can create off the bounce and score for himself and others.
All right, so Mo, right now you got two teams fighting for the NBA championship. What two teams you got going to the NBA finals right now?
Off the top of my head, I'll say OKC. You know what? I'm gonna say OKC and the Knicks.
What?
Yeah,
the Knicks going?
Yep. I feel like Will did make a really good point, but that's another reason that should light a fire under the Knicks, because if Cade Cunningham is not 100%, why wouldn't the Knicks be able to beat them? Why wouldn't the Knicks be able to take advantage of the fact that Hallie's gone? And standing in your way basically is D. Mitch, James Harden,
Jaylen
Brown.
Yeah.
I think Jaylen Brown's terrific, but I also think that we talk a lot about matchups. For whatever reason, a team that has problems with the Knicks is the Celtics. I just think the Knicks look at the Celtics for some reason and just feel like they got them. And look, Tatum's back, but we would all agree he's not Tatum.
He's
not. And you don't know, right? And you don't know if he's going to get there before obviously the playoffs start. I think this iteration of the Knicks has more pressure on them than any team, because this should be the Knicks year. Like, if they're going to be a year where they go to the finals, this should be the Knicks year. And if it doesn't happen, I think you really look at some strong roster reconstruction.
So Mo got OKC and the Knicks going. Will, who your predictions going to the NBA finals?
OKC in Boston.
Boston, you
love
think Boston's still gonna make it
I
there?
love the way that even though they lost the other night, I like the way the Celtics are playing. You got Jason Tatum back. Jaylen Brown's playing well. They got good cohesion good cohesion with those guys, a good chemistry going into it. They're coached well. Look, I just don't trust the Knicks. Again, I don't trust Cat to come through the way that he should. I don't like the way Mikal Bridges is playing. I don't trust Mike Brown's coaching this team. I know they're third in the East. I get that point, but I just like the way Boston is playing a little bit better, and I think Boston
Mike
can get
Brown
it done.
too. He helped LeBron and the Cavs get to the chip one time.
Okay, he ain't gonna do it for the Knicks. He ain't gonna do it for the Knicks.
Hey, I think, honestly, I think with K going down, I think it's gonna be either probably the Cavs or the Knicks going.
I trust Boston more than I trust either one of them. With the Cavs, I don't trust Donovan Mitchell to come through. I don't know what James Harden you're gonna get during the playoffs either. So that's why I think Boston would be the better pick out of the East.
Yes, but I don't know what Tatum you going like. Is Tatum going to turn it back on when he gets to the playoffs? Now, if that happens, then yes, I believe the Knicks gonna go again.
But I think with the chemistry those guys have, Derek White playing well, the rest of that team being more cohesive than they ever been. Look, whatever Tatum gives you is going to be extra. And that team's been together long enough. That's why I say I think Boston represents the Eastern Conference.
I don't know, but we're a league. This is a league of duos. It's back to the duo phases. So Jaylen Brown ain't gonna be able to carry it by itself.
He ain't gonna have to.
I will say this: the Celtics have something that maybe I don't know if there's another team in the league has this. They have 4 guys that can create their own shot and score off the bounce. When you look at Pritchard, White, Brown, and Tatum, they have 4 guys that can do that. There's not a lot of teams that can say the same thing. And all 4 of those guys that I mentioned, they also play defense at a high level, and they're connected defensively. So, look, I'm not saying Will's wrong. I'm just taking a swing and saying that if the Knicks are ever going to go to the finals,
it would have to be this
with
year.
Jalen Brunson as their best player, it would have to be this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's contingent upon what Tatum you get in the playoffs. If you don't get MVP or co-MVP Tatum,
but I don't think
it's going to happen.
But I think with Boston, that's a unique situation because I don't think Tatum would have to be MVP Tatum. I don't think it would have to be. I think you've got that team to a point to where they've grown a little bit beyond that point where you can depend on other guys to get you through.
I mean, yes, if you playing other teams, but like I like when Mo said when you match up with the Knicks always got a chip on their shoulder when they're playing Boston. They coming in ready to bust their butt every single time.
But that don't mean Boston can't overcome in the playoffs. The playoffs and the regular season are 2 different things.
With that type of game, they're gonna need Tatum. That type of game is always gritty. It's always gonna come down to superstars stepping up to crush the other superstar.
But I don't know if they need superstar Tatum. I would say for this season, they need all-star Tatum. They need they need him to be a good sidekick to Jaylen Brown. He don't have to be their leading scorer in a series, but he has to be able to make timely shots in a series, and I still think he can do that.
Timely shots and be consistent.
Agreed. At this present time, I'm gonna go ahead, Will, and turn it on over to you. Get your WWE going.
All right, appreciate you, Carmack. Mo, did you watch SmackDown the other night?
I did.
What did you think about that tag team match with R-Truth and Damian Priest?
I mean, at first, honestly, my honest opinion, when I even saw the match made, I was like, this seems dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, this must be a comic relief moment, which I'm here for it. Because sometimes you need those little bits like that, and then the match starts and the match plays out. But even as the match was playing out, Will, I knew what was going to happen because it had a silliness about it. Something was wrong,
right?
And so obviously, Truth and Priest won. Which, how long is that championship run going to last? A week?
It ain't gonna be long. It ain't gonna be long.
They're not taking those belts to WrestleMania.
Nah. But I thought it was funny because you saw Damian Priest's reaction, and it's like they tell him to finish. I was like, and I tell him to finish at all. You could tell by his facial expression he didn't know to finish.
Right.
Oh my goodness, man, that was hilarious. Um, what are you thinking about the work between Rhea and Jade? What are you thinking about that?
I'll say this. I think it's better than it was when it first started. It's better. And it makes Jade more intriguing when you know she's out and out the heel, right?
Mm.
When she says, "I don't need none of those women in the back. I don't care about none of those women in the back." Like that's establishing yourself as the most hated. So I think for her that's still improved. Look, I think Rhea's a natural in the ring and she's pretty good on the mic. So Rhea can pull her along. And so I think their work has gotten better.
Yeah, I think so too. So are you looking forward to Mania this year or no?
I mean, right now today I'm not as excited as I was for last year's, but
Yeah,
there's still matches that they can make, throw in some wrinkles that might make me excited. But right now I can only speak for myself. I'm not feeling it like that.
yeah. 42 is definitely not going to be the thing that it was last year. That is for sure. Um, do you think we finally see Charlotte and Alexa be done?
I feel like they're building up to it. I mean, especially with all these matches they get the run-ins and the interventions. So I think there's going to be a build up. But honestly, I've kind of enjoyed their little run together. They have an odd chemistry, and to me, I think they should try to keep that going as long as possible because I think that pairing, I think it kind of like revamped Charlotte's image a little bit, right? Because nobody was loving her when she first came back and then immediately got a title shot. Everybody was like, she didn't earn it.
Right.
But I think her taking a step back and away from the heavyweight championship and being a tag team wrestler, I think it's kind of revived her a little bit. So if I were them, I'd try to keep this going a little bit longer.
Last question. What do you think about Stephanie Valkyria's title run? And good, bad, indifferent? And is it time for her to maybe give up the title?
I just think they didn't know what to do with her when she won the title. And they really weren't no interesting storylines. They really did. They kept putting her up against Roxanne, but I was looking for them to put her up against somebody of a higher level, and they never really did that. So I think they wasted her title run. So by default, because they've wasted it, it's time to move on. I think she'll get another shot at being the champ somewhere down the line, but I think they've wasted this run. Unless they're going to use Mania as a way to kind of restart it, which would be great because I think Liv winning wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think Liv losing might be a great thing.
All right. Carmine, that's all I got, bro.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Is Fernando Mendoza overhyped?
Yeah, because we haven't seen anything that he's done on an NFL field yet.
He just won a championship.
I'm not taking that national championship and putting him in a god tier or a transcendent player. I'm old school. I want to wait to see what he does on the field first. If he has a great rookie season, okay. But I want to see what he does on the field first before I give him any type of a title.
Mo, what's your thoughts?
I think he has the potential to be a really good pro at the next level, but to Will's point, he hasn't gone through a training camp yet. He hasn't played in a scrimmage yet. He hasn't played in a preseason game yet. He's got a lot of work and development ahead of him. Very few guys step right into the NFL as a quarterback and have an immediate impact. I think he can be impactful, but I don't think he's going to be impactful in year one.
And look who he's going to.
They're rebuilding.
That's not exactly the creme de la creme of teams. I know they're trying to get better, get that offensive line up to snuff, but yeah, I want to wait.
The Raiders are doing what the Bears did for Caleb. They rebuilding the Raiders for Fernando right now.
Yeah. I want to wait to see what he does. 'Cause how many times have we seen a quarterback come out of college, just win a national championship, then bombs? So I want to see what he does first.
One of my favorite greatest quarterbacks of all time of college, man, Tim Tebow.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
come
mean,
on, that man was.
You go by college, yeah.
you go by college, yeah, heck yeah. I gotta give Tim Tebow that.
Let me ask you this, Mo: is the NFL becoming too dependent on quarterbacks?
Yes, to some degree, I think yes, because look where their salaries are now. What is a quarterback salary going to look like 10 years from now?
Ooh,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, good point.
because their number keeps going up in a way that nobody else's number goes up. And at some point, as a franchise, you got to be able to go like, we can't pay one guy $100 million a year. Like that's where they're going. They're going to that stratosphere, and that would be crazy.
I think they're getting close, man. You know, Mahomes, he got 10 years, 500 million, something like that.
And that's a team friendly deal for Mahomes.
Right.
That was a crazy deal. But Will, what you think? League too dependent on quarterbacks?
The league has evolved so much because back when I was growing up, you used to see the running backs. Not saying that we didn't have great quarterbacks back then, but you used to see the run game be more of a focus in games. Now it's a passing league. They're emphasizing the fact that you have to have a good quarterback to succeed. So, I think those guys have grown exponentially and will be dependent upon more in this league than ever before.
I would say it depends on the team, because we see teams now that are getting carried by defenses. Broncos, I mean, Bo Nix has great quarterback play, but he still has a great defense. Seahawks had a great defense. Who else was out there with great defense but it's getting carried? But I think it depends on your team, really. Like the 49ers, they had 3 different quarterbacks and still was winning games.
Because you had 3 quarterbacks that understood the offense. And it's still a passing league. And being a passing league is not going to change anytime soon. It's not like we're going to go back to the run game from the 80s, early 90s. This game is still going to be a passing game, a passing league. And like I said, quarterbacks are going to be more important. I get what you're saying about defense, but if you don't have no quarterback, you can have all the defense all day. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win.
To my point with the Niners, they had 3 different quarterbacks, but guess who?
Exactly.
They had CMC back there running and catching the ball for them. Right. He wasn't catching deep balls a lot. He was catching screens.
But you had quarterbacks that understood the game. You had quarterbacks that was able to facilitate. If you don't have a quarterback, none of that happens.
So you saying the team can't win with like a Mac Jones or Ryan Tannehill?
You got to have you have to have at least a competent quarterback to win. You just can't put nobody back there and expect to win. You have to have a competent quarterback.
I think you can win if you have a dominant running back. I think you can have a good quarterback and still win with a running back that is an 1,800-yard or more back. Derrick Henry, I think a couple times, the year he had a 2,000-yard season, he almost took the Titans to the AFC title game. And then just this last year, the Ravens underachieved, but a big part of their offense was their running back is a 1,900-yard back. Like, if you got a running back rushing for 1,900 yards, that's a huge part of your offense. Like, that's almost daring your quarterback to be a bad quarterback. How you gonna be a bad quarterback when everybody got to respect you every time you go play action because of your running back? So, yeah, I'm with you. You have to have competent quarterback play.
Yeah,
but if you got a dominant running back, I think you can still win a Super Bowl.
How many teams have that dominant running back though? Very few.
Chiefs got one now.
Very few. I said very few. I didn't say none.
This guy's hilarious.
Very few. Very few. I didn't say none, but very few.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. I appreciate everybody stopping through the Coffee and Sports on the morning show on the Wire Network. Will, you got any closing remarks for our people?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here this morning, guys. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to catch us later on this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern here on Wire Network. And we'll be doing the Sports Report podcast, myself, Seven in the crew, going down everything in the world of sports, NCAA, NFL, NBA. So join us tonight right here on Wire Wide Network, 10 p.m. Eastern.
As always, if you mow better, you do better. Close us out, big dog.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.